This is on page 18. So what I'm going to try, that's my goal, is to try to make booklets for all of the units we're going to do. It's probably not going to work out, but I'm going to try my best. That way we spend less time copying, more time learning, right? Yeah. Yeah. You did it already, you were saying? That was probably me. Oops. Yeah, that was probably me. Are you okay with that? That's the only copy I had. I didn't want to write on this one. I gave you the answers to this one, right? Yesterday? Okay. But here, and did I post the key as to how I did it? I don't think so. I don't think so. I had enough other stuff done. Okay, so when you do one of these, pay attention regardless of whether or not you get it, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? So this polygon on the outside has 11 sides, right? So that's important to me. So to figure out angle A, I'm using the formula of interior angles of a polygon, right? And what is that? 9 times 180. So I'm just going to quickly do this one. No, is that right? Yeah, okay. I just quickly wanted to go over it in detail before. That way you have three that are somewhat complicated, right? That you can do. So we figured that out. And in fact, you actually figured out this one, right? And this one, right? By figuring out A, you're actually finding both of them, right? So to then work with B, if you want to find B, you focus in on this one here. That is a trapezoid, right? So to find angle B, we simply go 360 because it's a four-sided shape, minus there are two of those basically. It happens to be called A. Be careful not to think it's always going to be called A, right? And that gets divided by 2 because we know that this angle right here will be the same as this angle right there. Okay. Another thing that I'm going to warn you about is make sure you know that the top is technically supposed to be done first before you divide by 2. So I'm going to go 360 minus 2 times 147, 27. That's 6546. And you divide that by 2, right? That's 3273. Coda, is that what it says on your paper? That B is 3273, or did you? That's the final answer. Okay, thank you. So I'm done with that. Then I'm going to focus on C here. C here, see? Focusing on that, I'm going to kind of see that there's a diagonal there. And you know I love highlighting these days, right? That is the, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a pentagon, right? So we know, right, that if I take 540 for all of them, right, all of the interior angles, and I subtract 3. In this case, there's one here, 147, 27, one there, one there. So I need to subtract 3 of those and then divide it by 2, making sure I keep the top in brackets, right? So it's 540 minus 3 times 147, 27, and that's 9819. And that's it, right? No. 49, 10. Coda, is that what it says? For C. Okay, we're good. We're on a roll without a script, right? D, that's probably the one you would have wanted to find first. I don't know. But angle D, use this one here, right? Angle D is right there. That's a triangle. So I'm going to have to start with 180 and subtract one of these here, which I know is 147.27, right? So I'm going to just subtract one of them. This goes on, like, I stop at pentagon, but you could go hexagon, heptad, right? Like, whatever this diagonal creates, right? That's the sum that I want, right? In this case, it created a triangle. That's why I start with 180. Divided by 2, right? So we go 180 point, sorry, not point, not that it matters, but 3273 divided by 2. 1637. Okay, so there's A, B, C, D, not in no particular order. You can do them in the order you want most of the time, and then you get it. Let's add something to this. Okay, let's add something. What if I had asked you to find E? What if I had asked you to find F right there? Those two. And what I would suggest is if you try to find angle E, for instance, and you know the one that's beside it, you just know that this whole thing here is 147.27, right? The whole thing is 147.27, which we have already determined. So I'm just going to take angle C away from it, and then I'm left with E. I hope that makes sense. Where is C here? 49.10. $98.17 degrees. So I got that one there. If I wanted to find angle F, same thing here. This whole thing is 147.27. So I'm going to 147.27 minus angle D. So D is 1637. $130.9 degrees. 2 decimals. In this case, I didn't need 2, but I just subtracted that little D there from 147 to give me F, which looks obtuse if you look at it. It does make sense that it's 130.9. Okay, so lots and lots of things that I could add here, but just remember what you know, right? There's a lot of things you already know, and just apply that knowledge to find everything else. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to leave D. If you want to practice that, I will give you the answers tomorrow. Just maybe remind me. So if you want to do this one, you do it right after we're done today. You try that one, and there was also some homework yesterday, right, in these pages. There's more there if you want. So there's that. Okay, let's move on to that handout I just gave you. I'm looking at my time here, and I think we're just going to do just fine. So this handout, you should all have one. If you didn't get one, let me know. You didn't get one? What's going on today? Butterfingers. Oh, you got it? You done, huh? It's all good. Thank you. So the interior angle of a pentagon, this is the formula for the interior angle. So that's really 3 times 180 divided by 5, which the interior angle is 108. You just have to trust me on that. I wanted to go a little bit faster. So then you check, right? I will do a check. I will go 360 divided by 108. Do you think that's going to work out? The diagram shows you already that it's not going to work out. Right? You go 360 divided by 108. That's 3.333 repeated. Right? Does not tessellate. And you can also say you cannot use it to tile a floor. They mean the same thing. Okay, so let's if you go here, this is 108, and this is 108, and this interior angle. We just focus on one point here. I know they're all 108 everywhere, but we're focusing here where they come together. Because if this works, it will work on the big scale. So how much is left here? Just go 360 minus 108, right? Minus 108. So we've got 24, 324, right? So 360 minus 324. You have 36 degrees left to be covered, which cannot, right? There's no shape, there's no pentagon that can fill that gap, right? So this is just a mathematical way of checking. This is a visual, right, for you to understand what's happening. I'm not going to ask you to draw it, of course. Okay? So it fails right there. Another one. Obviously, you can tell that this will work, right? You can tell that if you make a big dot there, everything around it is covered. But this is how you have to do this mathematically. Could you use regular triangles, squares, and hexagons to tile the floor? You have to use at least one of each. So let's do this. The interior angle of a triangle we know is 60. I'm not going to ask you to figure that out. The interior angle of a square is 90. The interior angle of a hexagon, anybody remember that one? Okay, well then you have no choice but to do this. That's 120. It's 120 degrees for a hexagon. So you do that work where you establish what each of the interior angles is worth. Now you do this. 360, go through your shapes. Go minus 60 degrees. That leaves you at 300. So you've used that triangle, right? Good. Then you go minus the next one. You're left with 210 degrees. You've used a square. Take away the 120. This is your hexagon. What are you left with? 90, right? 90 degrees. Once you've used one of each, now it's free game. Now you can use whatever else you need to do to fill in that gap. Coincidentally, what do you have to use to make that happen? Another square will do, right? So you want to go minus 90, right? You use another square until you get to 0. You want no gap left over. Let me zoom into that. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So a triangle. So what works is using two squares, a triangle, and a hexagon will tessellate. Or you can use these shapes you can use those shapes to tile the floor. Let's just go in here and just make sure, right? This is 120, this is 60, we have a 90 and a 90. And I could probably use my software and make copies of it, and it should all fit in just fine. Let me see if I have it ready to go. If I don't have it ready to go, sorry, I'm going to take that away. You copy, you go ahead and copy. I don't have that ready to go. No, I don't have this ready to go, so I can't do the magic on this one. It's going to take too long. This one I'm going to leave up to you. You can kind of tell that it's not going to work. There's a gap here that I couldn't fill with a shape. So it looks like a triangle would work, but you have to know for sure, right? Let's go backside here. I'm going to talk about that. E we're going to leave for now. Tish used to be one of my students, so I can use his name. He graduated. Show whether or not. Okay, I'm just going to pause here. I'm going to do this tomorrow. Okay. So this is what I want you to start if you want to prepare for the test. Let's back up here, and at the bottom of this, just go test, review, page. This is in your work booklet, okay? I'm going to send you to the workbook. And I would say, obviously, it's going to be too much to do all of it, but you start on page 24, and it goes all the way. It's almost like a booklet within a booklet. It goes to page 34. And I will post the key, okay? I will post the key to this one. And it goes through everything we've done so far. And that's it for today. Thank you, guys.